Well, hello, everybody. Hello, hello, welcome. Hey, Jeannie, welcome to you. So happy to have you here today with me.
Yeah, I'm always happy to be in the room with you, Leslie.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So big warm welcome to those of you that are joining us live, as well as all of you that are going to catch the replay. So got some really great content to share with you today. I'm Lesli Bitel, and business coach and mentor for private practice dietitians, naturopathic doctors, really anyone in the functional medicine world. So today I'm really happy to have Jeanne Petrucci with me today. And we have some good stuff for you. I'm going to have Jeanne introduce herself in just a moment. But let me kind of give you an overview of the direction our conversation is going to go today. So today is all about creating content using an evidence-based framework and really how to attract and retain clients with content that connects. All right. So that is really the focal point for today's conversation. And just to give you a little bit more detail. So by the end of our time today, you are going to be more confident with your content creation process. And I know that's a really big thing.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, right? Because it can be overwhelming. And honestly, it takes a life of its own. So we really want to try to simplify this for you. We want to help you to identify the types of content that both attracts and retain clients, right? Super important. And we want to help you to capture the right clients at the right time in the right place. All right, guys. So we got lots of good stuff. So Jeanne, so happy to have you here with me today. And I'm really excited to see you at Fancy.
Yes.
Anyone else going to Fancy?
For any of you going, please come visit. So Leslie's going to be in the member marketplace on Monday. Is that correct, Leslie?
Yes.
Okay.
400.
That's okay. Great. That's on Monday. I'm going to be on the main expo floor on booth number 925. And we got a double wide this year. So it's a 20-foot booth. Really
excited. Gosh.
Yeah. To welcome you. We produced a kitchen. Like I'm really excited to welcome everybody into the kitchen. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you. So can't wait to see you all there. So if you're there, make sure that you stop by. So I'm Jeanne Petrucci. I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, culinary coach, and an expert nutrition content creator. My company is Living Plate RX, and we support health and wellness professionals with all of their nutrition content creation needs. So that really covers everything from meal plans. We have proprietary meal planning software to full digital nutrition courses, handouts, ebooks, videos, cooking videos, you name it. So we have it all. And we also provide business tools and business training. So the topic for today is really about the basics of business, attracting and retaining clients. And all of your activities need to focus on attracting and retaining clients. There are going to be business activities, I'm sure Leslie shares with her clients, that you need to engage in to support your business, like bookkeeping or maybe insurance reimbursement. But every time you're doing something like that, you are taking energy and time away from attracting and retaining clients. And the only way that you can grow is to attract and retain clients. So, in that kind of albatross bucket, the insurance reimbursement, the bookkeeping, I also put content creation. So when you are creating content from scratch, you are taking time away from attracting and retaining your ideal clients, right? So today's conversation is about really making the process a little bit more efficient. We only have 30 minutes today. So I'm going to drop a ton of resources after Leslie and I have this conversation to support all of you with information on how you can attract and retain your ideal client. So if you are not attracting clients, you are repelling them. Like that's your choice. Are you going to attract or are you going to repel? Because if you're boring, you're going to repel, right? So it's going to fall into those two buckets. So how do you attract and not repel? And if you're not retaining clients, you're not growing, you're not maintaining them, and you're losing, right? So the question is, do you want to attract and retain, or do you want to repel and lose? I mean, I don't know.
I think that's a rhetorical question, right?
It is, obviously it's a rhetorical question, but it really does kind of simplify business. I mean, I know, Leslie, I know you have an MBA, but honestly, without attracting and retaining clients, you have nothing. You have nothing. And again, at
Really
worst,
don't.
you can repel and lose. So if you're not taking the right kind of action in your practice, you're going to repel and lose. And then it's just frustrating because you're working so hard and you're not getting anywhere, right? Okay, so why don't we move on to, I'd like to talk about, so there were the three basic things that we're going to talk about. I'd actually like to start with the different kinds of content that fall into the attraction bucket, and then also the retention bucket. Is that okay, Leslie?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk different types of content, right?
Yep. Yes.
So attraction versus retention.
Yeah, yes, well, not versus, but like, because there's a lot of overlap, right?
Right.
So if you create one piece of content to attract clients, you can
Okay.
repurpose that to retain clients and to, the objective is really client satisfaction. That's what retention is all about. You have to continue to deliver value, and you have to continue to make your clients happy. And a lot of your attraction activities are certainly going to kind of bleed into that. So, we will focus mostly on attraction because a lot of this will transition over.
All right.
So, and I've been thinking a lot about this because I run Facebook ads. I have a marketing agency that runs Facebook ads for me because my ideal client is on Facebook, and they're on mostly a split between Instagram and Facebook. And without that, I'm thinking about, how would I attract clients? Well, I would do it the same way I did it when I had a private practice, like boots on the ground. So some of the strategies I'm going to share with you today are going to be both for bricks and mortar practice, but then also virtual practice, right? Because if you're virtual, really your best option is to get onto social media. So we're going to start right with that. So client attraction strategies, first place you need to be is social media. And Leslie, I'll just keep talking and you
all right,
interrupt me.
Go for it. All right, sounds like a plan.
Want to contribute, because I 30 minutes and I just want to deliver as much value as I can. So with social media, first of all, before you even post, you have to have a solid brand and business strategy. Like, what is your purpose for putting out anything on social media? Are you there to entertain? Maybe. Are you there to be an influencer? Maybe. Are you there to grow your private practice? Most definitely. So different strategies are going to dictate the different kinds of content, but at its very core, you have to have a brand strategy in place. Would you agree, Leslie?
Oh my gosh, you have to have that overarching underpinning of a strategy for sure. And I feel like that's where things fall apart for a lot of people, right? They just start putting stuff out there and just hoping something sticks. So tell us what does that mean? Like, what would you recommend?
So that's exhausting. Like, don't do that, right?
Yeah, don't do that.
You don't do that.
Oh my God.
Some of what I'm going to say, you guys have heard kind of ad nauseum. You have to pick a niche. You have to have an ideal customer avatar in mind, and everything that you do needs to speak to that person. So where I would first start is and we're talking now specifically about social media, your profiles on social media, your Instagram profile, and your Facebook page. It's not about you. That's where I see most people go wrong. It's about, them and their credentials and what they do. Nobody wants to hear that. They want to know what you're going to do for them. So your messaging in those two places, and even on LinkedIn. So maybe you serve entrepreneurs. So your LinkedIn profile should really target who you serve and how you serve them.
Yes.
It's much less about you. You're very, very secondary in this whole attraction process. It's how you serve them and who you serve and how you serve them. So you want to make sure that that is front and center in your profile. And then, of course, have a brand strategy in mind, like things like a logo and your colors and your font. It gets super messy on social media if you're using different fonts all the time, different colors. Like, you don't have to have the perfect looking profile. I kind of tend to fall victim to that myself in my own profile, and that I like it kind of neat and tidy, but that's not necessary. But you do have to be consistent about your messaging, your branding, your brand voice. All of that has to be at your foundation. So once your profile is created, you have a good brand in place, you know who you're targeting, then you can start creating content. So creating content on social media right now is really all about video. It is exhausting, right? You've got to, people think you have to do your hair and your makeup to do a video. yes, if you're going to be in a video. And if that is the case, if you are your brand, then batching is the best thing to do on social media.
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing my hair and makeup, 5 times a week, right? I do it once or twice a week and I'll batch it. Also, let me just back up a little bit. Posting on social media does not mean you have to post 5 times per week. You can post 1 time a week, 2 times per week, but just commit to something and, make sure that you're as regular as you can be. And that will increase attraction, and will also increase the amount that Instagram is showing your content to your ideal client. So batch if you're doing personal videos, cooking videos. So the cooking videos that we provide to our Living Plate RX Prime members can be used in social media, and they should be used in social media. They're very catchy. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of color. People love recipes. So you're definitely, if you can take any video and gear it towards your ideal customer avatar. So let's just say that you pick the roasted tomato and pepper soup from 2 content drops ago. You can take that in any direction you want. It can be cancer preventative. It can be used to speak to people who've been touched by PCOS, thyroid health, like all, you can really, you're the nutrition professional, so you can gear it towards that person. So you should post a video, and then you should make it your own and have it speak to your ideal customer avatar. So yes, social media is much more about video. Live events, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Absolutely a must. What Lesli is doing here and what I do with Lesli on my Facebook page, perfect example, doing live videos. Somebody's saying, I'm guilty of overwhelm. Rather than posting, I hesitate and end up not posting at all. The overwhelm there, I would ask you, what are you overwhelmed by? If you're overwhelmed by the content creation process, which almost always is the case, then that's what my resource is for, right? We provide nutrition and wellness professionals with all the nutrition content that they need. So you have all the content, you just have to repurpose it and have it speak to your ideal customer avatar. Now, our members do not just copy and paste the content that I give them and post it on their social media. That doesn't work. You need to take the content that's done for you and make it your own. You need to brand it. You need to edit it. You need to put your brand voice into it, right?
But it gives you an awesome starting point. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's half the battle, is just like not knowing where to start, right?
Yeah.
And then being overwhelmed and just like hung up. So,
live events are really great. They can be really simple. You could do a live event about how to make chia pudding. I mean, chia pudding, there's just like so many ways you can, it's like so rich in fiber. It's got omega-3. It's like, it addresses so many different conditions for so many people. So, and that doesn't require any cooking. So all you need is your phone and a ring light, very low entry point in terms of technology, and just do it. And I think, generally speaking, our profession is loaded with perfectionists, and
oh my God,
so good. Oh my gosh. I take a look at the first videos, the cooking videos that I did, that I actually got paid really good money to do. I am horrified. But you know what? At that time, that was good enough. It was fine. It was good because it was showing up. So
yeah. And to that point, Jeannie, I've heard from several clients that, believe it or not, like the really like nicely produced, perfect makeup, perfect hair, like I've heard that those videos sometimes don't do as well as like, seriously, when you just show up, right? And things don't look perfect. I've heard from more than one person that those are the ones that tend to go viral, right?
That's why live is so good, because nobody gets a live right, like 100% perfect. Nobody. I don't care who you are.
No.
Like something always goes wrong, but then also it's just not perfect. You say things you probably shouldn't say and do things. I mean, I had a piece of salmon that literally slide off a plate and hit the floor, like splat. It happens, we didn't eat it, but I still prepared it. So, it's fine. Like, it does. That first step is really the hardest. So for the person who said they just tend to get overwhelmed, that first step is the hardest. And I am at the end here going to give you tons of resources that you can access where, before becoming a full member of Living Plate RX. But our Living Plate RX Prime members get mountains and mountains and mountains of content. All you have to do is pick it, edit it, brand it, and post it. So it can be that easy. And if you have a VA, it becomes even easier. So that's good. Okay. And then, so let's just move on to discovery calls. We're going to kind of do that pretty quickly. So social media, definitely the place where you want to attract. Discovery calls are another great opportunity to attract your ideal client, putting it out there as an offer, as an opt-in. Discovery calls do not need to be one-to-one. I love, and I'm a little bit obsessed with, open houses. You can do an open house. You can create scarcity around it. Say, I am doing an open house or a roundtable discussion about, nutrition and its impact on fertility, for example. I'm only admitting 10 people into this roundtable, right? So that could be a discovery call too, because then you have 10 people or 15 people in the room. I don't recommend more than 15 for an open house because it gets out of control. But they all have a conversation. Now, you can't speak specifically to each individual's condition, but you shouldn't be doing that in a discovery call anyway, right, Leslie?
Oh yeah, you should not.
You should not. So so the discovery calls are great. They do not need to be one-to-one. You can do an open house, and I love that idea. So social media, offering discovery calls, a really effective way to attract people to your practice. Collaborations and referrals. What Leslie and I are doing right now, this is collaboration. This is what collaboration looks like. If you scroll back on my Instagram feed, you will see even more collaborations with healthcare professionals, right? I'm going to give you a perfect example. If you are somebody who focuses on women who are touched by PCOS, the ideal collaborator would be a physician. You don't want another dietitian or health coach in PCOS, right? You want to pick somebody who's like an interdisciplinary practitioner, somebody who has an interest in what you're talking about, but it has a different specialty, like a different area of expertise. Right. So, a GYN or a fertility doc is ideal for that. So, those types of collaborations, especially if you bring something really valuable to the table, are pretty easy to cultivate. I would say, 9 times out of 10, if I reached out to a local physician and said, hey, I'm going to do a cooking demo about foods for fertility. You want to join me? And all you have to do is talk and I'll do all the cooking. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? Right. So right. It almost always worked out. So when you think about collaborations, think about what you can bring to the table and what kind of value you can give to their patients and their clients. And then it almost always works out. Referrals, gone are the days where you can just drop off your card and say, hey, I'm here if you need me.
Thank you. Right?
It doesn't work. Like, it might have worked 10 years ago.
Yeah, it does not work. Or I hear this too, like, yay, I was so excited. They let me leave my cards on the counter, right? Or on the table. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no way to track. So, the best way is to have a referrals system in place. Yeah. Leslie, I'm sure that you support your clients with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
My Living Plate RX Prime members, I deliver it to them. So I deliver to you a referral form that can be edited, that you give to the docs, and an entire process or formula for getting those referrals into your practice. It works. Full stop. We used it in our practice. We grew like crazy. Honestly, we only needed like 3 or 4 doctors who regularly use the referral pads they were like script pads, to have the practice explode. Like, we really didn't even need to keep looking for partners in our community. So you don't need a lot. You need, maybe 1, 2, 3 for one dietitian, doctors referring to you, and you're going to have a full house, but you have to have a process in place. And that will also set you apart from the dietitians or the health coaches who are just dropping off their card saying, hey, I can help you. So you have a process, and you're going to help their patients meet their health goals with food. And that's it. So collaborations and referrals, discovery calls, social media. We're going to move on to special promotions and events. So special promotions are a really great way to attract clients to you. Now, you can offer special promotions, again, in a lot of different ways. So you can use social media as your vehicle, email, of course. So as you build your email list, but you can also offer a special promotion through a partner. Special promotions work best if you build in scarcity. So what I mean by that is, if you are going to have if you're offering a special class, let's just say a live class, it is only happening on these 2 days at this time. That's, limiting attendance. Right. That kind of sets urgency, right? Limited enrollment. I'm only taking 10 people. Cost increase. That's really, really powerful. If you're offering a course now, but it's, doubling in price in 2 months, you need to let people know that so that they can come on board. Of course, to maintain integrity, scarcity has to be authentic and real.
Sure.
So think about how don't offer something that doesn't have scarcity built around it, because people don't have a sense of urgency. So you could build the best course in the world and, just put it out there as an evergreen course, but there's no scarcity. There's no urgency. And people are like, yeah, I'll do it later. Does that make sense, Leslie?
Oh yeah. Scarcity is absolutely critical in marketing. So like early bird bonuses. I actually did something different. And that was, I did a webinar and I offered a bonus for anyone that signs up during the webinar. Right.
Perfect.
So like an extra special bonus. I usually offer an extra special bonus to like the first 20 people that sign up for something. So I build scarcity in several different ways.
Yeah. That's a solid strategy. And that we should all be doing that.
Yeah.
We should all be doing that. And your bonuses should be irresistible.
Yes.
They should be so good, almost better than your initial offer, so that people are like, damn, I gotta I'm in,
Yeah.
They shouldn't hesitate. So yes, I agree. Leslie, so I collaborated on a bonus for one of my courses. Leslie provided me with a training. So I said, as part of, one of my bonuses, if you sign up now, is that you will get this free training from my partner, Leslie.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't any work for Leslie because she already had this recorded webinar, but it was great because it gave her exposure and it added value to my existing suite of products. So think about that too. You don't always have to be the creator of your bonuses. In fact, I recommend that you kind of look outside and just find somebody who, an expert in a different area that complements the course that you're offering. So business always complements the courses that I offer. So that's just one example.
And to that point, I know I've actually signed up for courses because I wanted the bonus.
Yeah.
I have I almost kind of wanted the bonus, maybe just as much, if not a little more than the course, believe it or not.
That's great. That's great.
So they work,
that's great. That's great. And then I just want to finish with, in the attraction bucket, the events. So we did talk about events on social media, but it doesn't always have to be on social media. It can be in person. It could be at an oncology center. I did tons of events in oncology centers, really fueled my practice. So it can be, again, virtual or in person, just a really great way to show up. It's just another way to show up. I think live events, when I say live, I mean in-person events are coming back. They're becoming more popular now. So things like wellness fairs and webinars and things like that, that's great. Somebody asked a question about how they can create these referral pads. So my members, Living Plate RX Prime members, have a done for them referral pad. It's done. And so all you have to do is go in, brand it, and edit it to make it appropriate for your niche. And it has ICD codes on there too. It's a prescription pad. It's a nutrition prescription pad, and it's available. So I can't see who asked that question, but if you want to DM me.
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, you DM me or I'll see it after the broadcast, and I'll get you some more information on that. So events, they could be live webinars in person. They could be Zoom, Q&A sessions, again, cooking demos. Cooking demos it's just so interesting how I got into the kind of the business of giving cooking demos. So before I became a dietitian, I volunteered at a local oncology nonprofit. They work with people who've been touched by cancer, and they were offering cooking demos. And I went to one once because they're like, oh, could you just take a look at this and tell us what you think? And it was a disaster. It was a chef who was doing a cooking demo and talking about how food impacts cancer. I'm like, stop, you guys have to stop. You're evidence-based. You cannot do this. You need to have a registered dietitian or somebody who has training in oncology and nutrition delivering these cooking demos, or both. We used to have an RD and a health coach together doing it. And so really changed the face of how they were offering cooking demos. And it was always standing room only. Now, I was doing it for free as a community service, but 10% of the people in the room eventually became clients. So it always worked out. So don't underestimate the value of, just giving more value. You're going to offer a webinar, do a cooking demo. And it could be a no cook kind of situation. I have more support for our members on doing those cooking demos. And then lastly, like wellness fairs. I'm seeing a lot of our members doing wellness fairs. One member, Leslie, you're not going to believe this. One member did a heart health walk in Dallas. Actually, two of our members came together. They did a cooking demo for 20,000 people.
What?
There was like a big
That's
screen,
amazing.
like a what do you call those? Phototrons or something behind it?
Yeah.
It was like a football-sized field of people
Crazy.
watching them cook, watching them. It was at Priscilla and
So
Catherine.
good.
It was
Bravo.
insane, right? So yeah, just talk about getting the, the jitters, but they were like, they did it. They were like pros. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can be for 10 people. It can be for 30 people. It could be for 100 people. So understand what the value of acquiring one client would be and kind of track your metrics that way. That's how you know that things like wellness fairs and free kind of presentations are going to work out for you. Don't show up at a wellness fair with a folding table and handouts. You need more. You need to have more there, okay, for the attraction piece. Now, retaining your clients is going to be about delivering value. So now let's talk about the different types of content. We talked about, content categories, but like handouts, ebooks, cooking videos, right? Those are all different types of content. And in order to retain clients, you have to continue to deliver value. And that means offering more and more and more content. So it doesn't end with attracting. You need to develop all that content. You also need to continue to create content. That's why it's exhausting, right? To retain your clients. We have a question. Good to see two people who have made me more successful together. Oh, wonderful.
Yay. Who is this? I can't see the name.
Okay. Living Plate RX has made my life easier with the Prime Library for sure. That's the idea. Leslie's your strategy girl. I'm your content girl, right? Strategy and content.
Beautiful. That's why Jeannie and I are, it's such a great match, right?
It really is. Yeah. So in terms of, we're going to be wrapping it up here, but in terms of the different kinds of content, you want to think about creating dynamic pieces of content that speak to your ideal clients. And it doesn't just end there. This brings us to our third point for today's live, which is reaching your ideal clients where they are, right? So where they are and where they're ready. And I'm just going to use one example here that will make it crystal clear. You are going to spend time creating a digital course. There is no way you are going to sell or convert a ton of people, maybe a small percentage, but a ton of cold leads to your high level course, like to your high priced course. It's not going to happen because they're not ready. You're reaching somebody who's not ready to hear your message. So you have to create content along the continuum of health behavior change. That is somebody who's in pre-contemplation or contemplation. Well, they might be thinking about change, but maybe not. Somebody who is motivated, but doesn't know how to take action. Okay, that's a different type of content. Maybe that's an ebook or a cooking video, right? It's not until somebody is ready to take action that they're actually ready for one of your courses. So remember, and Leslie, I think you have your profit pyramid. Do you still use that? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If you take Leslie's profit pyramid and then you just like along its side, do the 5 stages of health behavior change, pre-contemplation to maintenance.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an aha moment. It makes total sense. So you not only to retain your clients have to create, continue to pump out content. We're talking about blogs and newsletters and handouts and posts and all of that. You also need to think about, okay, I need to bring in cold clients for sure. And I have a super cool idea I want to share if we have time. So you need to bring in cold leads, but then you need to nurture them and give them value and content all along the way until they're finally ready to take action.
I love it.
I think so often, Leslie, people think like, oh, I'll just get a lead and I'll convert them.
Right. No, we have to nurture. We have to nurture all along the way. And one way to look at this, guys, and then we're going to unfortunately have to wrap up, is one way to look at it is we love to educate. It's really education, right? So Jeannie, question for you. I have to grab a client right now. Do you want to continue?
Can I?
Yeah. How about that, guys? All right.
Okay. Yeah. It can be a one-woman show. Let's see if it works. If it works, that'll be great.
It will. I think it will. We got a comment from Marsha. Thank you so much for joining us, Marsha. And that was Michelle McAllister. Yay. All right, guys. All right. So this is collaboration at its finest. I am going to take a client call right now, and Jeannie is going to take the lead. All right, guys.
Why not? Let's try it.
I'll see you at Fancy. People, if you're going to Fancy, please let me know. All right.
Okay, that's great.
Right. And I'll see you at Fancy, Jeannie.
Yep. Sounds good. All right, guys, hang on. And I'm also going to take a look at some of the comments here and we can answer some of those as we go along. So I have created several trainings for you. I am going to drop the links in here, but these trainings, when you're going through, and they're free, I have a couple of free trainings that you can go through. I want you to always be thinking about attracting and retaining. And, where do these activities lie? You can't retain clients until you start attracting them, right? So if you are just starting your private practice, you really have to focus more on the attraction side. But then once those clients start coming in, then you can focus on the retention. But the attraction activities, they never end. They never end. The most successful practices are going to be those who continue to bring people into the top of their funnel, or with Leslie's profit pyramid, I actually think it's like the bottom of the pyramid. You have to attract clients. And you know what? I'm going to share something really cool with you guys right now. It's becoming a little bit more difficult with opt-ins to attract your ideal clients because it's really competitive. And so just putting out an ebook or a checklist, really it's kind of what I have been seeing on my opt-ins that I pay for. So I have, somebody managing my Facebook ads account. It was really not great. Like the cost per lead was going up higher. And so what that said to us was we need to rethink this. We need to do something totally different. And my marketing agency had a client who did a 5-minute training, To think that I could cover anything in 5 minutes is crazy, but I actually did it. It took a lot of practice because I like to talk a lot. But we created this 5-minute training. It's called the Content Creation Catalyst. And it's 5 minutes, and it takes health and wellness professionals in 5 minutes through kind of evidence-based theory and framework. Because at the end of the day, and this answers one of the questions that Leslie had proposed at the beginning, one of the objectives, I want you to be confident with your content creation process. The only way that you can be confident is to follow a formula. And I liken this to a recipe. The only way that you can be confident that your chocolate cake is going to turn out the same every single time is to follow the recipe. If you don't follow a recipe, you're going to be unsure, you're not going to have confidence, and your results are going to be uncertain. So the idea behind this content creation catalyst and the accelerator, which is a 1-hour training that I have, is to give you confidence in your content creation process by following a framework. You need to follow a framework. So I created the framework. I've tested the framework. It works. So, it's a proven recipe. So all you need to do is follow it and it'll work. So I'm going to encourage all of you who wants to do a 5-minute training for their ideal customer avatar. I want to hear, what could be a 5-minute training. And what you want to do is, you don't want to try and teach too much in this opt-in, this really cool opt-in to attract your ideal client. You don't want to load it too much with like how-tos. You just really want to give people an overall idea of what it's going to be like to work with you. So just like pick a core principle or 2 core principles to nutrition and what else, right? Managing PCOS with nutrition, improving fertility with nutrition, reducing cancer risk with nutrition, right? A 5-minute training. Like, who's not going to watch that? And you just offer a ton of value in that 5 minutes. Now, I'm going to drop, when we're done here, because I can't do it now while I'm talking, I'm going to drop here a link to my content creation catalyst, which is this 5-minute training. And you will see how it works to attract my ideal customer avatar. All of you attending this training right now, you're my ideal client, right? So what is on that 5-minute training should resonate with you. So right now, why don't you guys drop in with me? Somebody's saying, I can't see, it's this Facebook user, but somebody is saying that they would love to do a 5-minute training. Tell me, what would that be? What kind of principle, who's your ideal customer avatar? So first answer that question. So just drop it in here. Who is your ideal customer avatar? Somebody who's touched by blank, right? So somebody who, again, who's touched by a certain condition that can be addressed with nutrition. Drop it in comments here and tell me, who is your ideal customer avatar? And we can brainstorm a little bit together. That would be kind of fun. Marsha is saying, what a great tip. Her daughter is an MD and on her way to being an oncologist. I have a plan. Yes, Marsha. Yeah, so Marsha, you should definitely be targeting your content to women's health. It doesn't have to just be one piece of women's health. It could be hormones. So Marsha, let's just use you as an example here since you offered it up, right? So if you wanted to offer a 5-minute training on, women's health, the 5 top misconceptions about balancing hormones, about, women balancing hormones. Like that would be hot topic. You could totally cover that in 5 minutes. You wouldn't go into grand detail, but you would just name the 5 tips. You would offer some content as a follow-up. And again, it's an opt-in. So in order for somebody to watch this video, they need to give you their email address. So once you have their email address, you can then offer more value and cultivate that relationship. Do you see how this works? Okay, somebody is saying that they made it through breast cancer naturally. Oh, good for you. Congratulations. And I'm feeling like going into that direction. Excellent. So natural ways to reduce your cancer risk, or natural ways to reduce recurrence, something like that. So as long as you're staying kind of in that evidence-based bucket and putting that out there, you're going to be solid, right? And have a framework in place. And again, you're going to have access to this content creation catalyst. Just steal the framework from me. Like, just, I'm giving you permission, take it and just follow it, and see how that works for you. It is working brilliantly for us right now. People are watching it. People are opting in, and then people are going into my funnel. They're watching the accelerator and then becoming members, right? A certain percentage of them will. So this is like the top of your sales funnel, just to kind of get it going. But again, that attraction has to be dynamic. You have to be different, and you have to be competitive. If you're just offering, oh, sign up to get my newsletter, you're not going to do better than anybody else. You need to put something out there that's really, really dynamic, like a cooking video. Sign up for my newsletter, or give me your email here, and I'll send you 3 cooking videos, 3 crock pot cooking videos for Crocktober, something like that, right? I mean, it's like endless. You can just go on and on. So Marcia is saying that she's met her ideal client the other day, getting a pedicure. I wish I had this script. That's perfect, right? You can just say, hey, here, instead of handing somebody your card, say, give me your email address. I'll send you a bunch of information. That's totally scrappy way to build it. I love it. So somebody else is saying inflammation. So yeah, if you're talking about inflammation, 5 foods that reduce inflammation, tons of evidence around that. You could come up with 30 foods, but again, it's a 5-minute training. So if you're going to deliver, whoever asked that question, if you're going to deliver this kind of catalyst type opt-in training, you're going to want to deliver some content on the back end of that. They give you their email, they watch the training. At the end of the training, you say, hey, go check your email. I just sent you a link to 3 cooking videos with foods that fight inflammation, or I just sent you a link for 3 recipes that, fight inflammation. Again, you can take this in any direction you want. Does that sound good? All right. So what have you found most valuable so far? For those of you who are still on with me, tell me I have a few more minutes. So I'm here for you. I'm here to serve you as best as I can. So let me know what has been most valuable, and if there's anything else you want me to cover. I think that we did already cover everything that Lesli had promised. How to be more confident with your content creation process. That was like number 1 on her list. You become more confident by following a formula. It's the same thing as a recipe. We're all in nutrition, so I know you get it. If a recipe has been tested and proven, you follow it to get a good result. So that's what you need to do. You need to follow a formula. The different types of content that both attract and retain, we covered all of that. It really does begin with social media, if you're new, to kind of attract the largest amount of people, but it could also be through discovery calls, open houses, collaborations, referrals, special promotions, and of course, events. And then how to create content that captures the right clients at the right time in the right place. The secret there is really to understand and to know that not all of your clients are ready to work with you. Most people are not ready to work with you. So what kind of content do you have to create for that kind of a person? Right. So even if somebody's in pre-contemplation, like they're not even thinking about change, but they see your recipe or they see your reel about making this particular food and you spark their interest and they like it, or they save it, they make the recipe, they come back, they follow you, you just kind of hook them in. So that contemplation piece is really about hooking them in. And then the rest of behavior change is really about nurturing them with value and more content. Kevin is saying, I love the prescription idea. I already have collaborated with a few doctors, and this can greatly facilitate my growth. Kevin, this prescription pad was transformational. If I had time, I would go grab the binder that we have here at Living Plate. Now, I don't practice anymore, but when we were in practice 7 years ago, when I opened up my practice, we had binders for each doctor. They were filled, binders by month. How many referrals were the doctors faxing to us. They were faxing us these completed referral pads. Now think about that. When you have a doctor filling out the referral pad, you're getting a lot of really valuable information. What is the medical diagnosis, right? I'm a dietitian. I cannot diagnose somebody with diabetes, but now I have a script, a referral, a nutrition script from a doctor saying, this patient has diabetes. So first of all, it makes it a lot easier for me to process an insurance claim for that client. But number two, it helps me dictate the care. It does a lot of the work for me. Okay, they're diagnosed with diabetes. Let's move forward. What's their, hemoglobin A1C, and they forward all of their information. So those nutrition prescription pads are golden. And the framework and the recipe that I share with you in the library, again, is golden. And that's just one of the business tools. We have lots of business tools for our members. That's just one of them. But Kevin, yes, it can help facilitate growth for sure. And these prescription pads are 8.5 by 11. They were not cheap to print. So I only gave them to docs who were serious about referring their patients. But I only worked with food as medicine practitioners. They really bought into nutrition care. One was, we had an oncologist, a general practitioner, and a cardiologist. We're our three primary docs referring to us and basically filled the practice. So just keep that in mind. And Kevin, if you wanted to DM me, I can give you more information about that. Somebody said, I liked what you shared about making a couple of videos for my opt-in. I have a checklist right now and it isn't doing well. Maybe videos will be better. Videos are always better. And what's interesting is that shorter videos are the best. And, we produce cooking videos for our members, and we produce long form and short form. So if you get the Thai inspired zucchini salad, which is absolutely delicious, you get a 5-minute video, which shows the recipe being made, in a pretty paced manner. That's great for a course, but that's not going to work on social media. So we take it and we make it into a social media format, which is 1 minute long. So we make it faster. We cut out a lot of, unnecessary things. And it becomes 1 minute. The shorter the video, the better, and get right to the point. Don't bother introducing yourself. Just say, here are 5 ways that nutrition can help you with your whatever, right? So just make it quick, get to the point, think of a reel type video where, you're really moving along pretty quickly. Yeah. And you can tape it on Canva. Now you can record it on Canva or on Zoom or Vimeo. That will all work. Make sure your sound quality is good. Make sure your lighting is good. If you're in the video, my content creation catalyst is actually, I'm not in it at all. Just because I was moving so fast, I thought it would be better not to have that kind of head bubble on the video. And again, it's working out. So, click here to get my free 5-minute training. That is going to be irresistible. And I'd love to hear from you guys on how it worked out. Bonnie is saying she loves the idea of the 5-minute video. I need to connect with Living Plate RX. Yes, Bonnie. Yeah. Everybody needs to connect with us. Our community, and I say that, from a place of respecting my community. Our community is powerful. We have a private Facebook group called Scale Your Nutrition Practice. You are welcome to join and just kind of see all the amazing stuff that our members are doing with their content and their meal plans. But the idea is really for me to give you relief. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to give you relief. I'm going to give you a formula for kind of plugging in this done for you content so that you have more time to attract and retain your clients, because that's the only way that you're going to grow. It's the only way you're going to scale. Make sense, everyone? Okay. All right. So if nobody has a question, right now, that's fine. I'm going to sign off, but this recording will live on this page. So you are free to DM me. You can drop me a comment here and tag me, and we will do our best to support you on your journey to attracting and retaining clients to scale your practice. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. For those of you who are going to Fancy, I can't wait to see you. Remember, booth 925, and in about 3 minutes, I will be dropping some links in here for you for information on our membership, and then also that content creation catalyst I told you about. All right, take care, everybody.